Welcome to this explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're here today because, wow, we are looking at a story that proves just how profoundly a simple hobby can redirect the entire course of a person's life. We spend so much time planning our futures, mapping out degrees and career paths, but sometimes the universe just has a completely different script written for us. I want you to think about something for a second. What if the biggest turning point in your life started with something as simple as a guitar? Or maybe a paintbrush, or a camera. We all have those hidden passions, right? Those little interests we kind of just relegate to the weekends or our free time. But what if that seemingly insignificant interest was actually your true calling, just waiting to be unleashed? Well, for the subject of today's explainer, Larissa Liveir, music wasn't supposed to be a career. It really was just a passion, a hobby. She was actually deep into studying engineering and architecture. But then, a global pandemic unexpectedly hit the pause button on all her academic plans. She picked up a guitar, turned on a camera, and birthed a digital sensation that would eventually reach millions of people. Okay, let's dive into this. To really understand this incredible journey, we're going to break it down into 6 chapters. The first connection, hobby to passion, finding her sound, the pandemic turning point, behind the camera, and finally, the pressure of being different. Chapter 1, the first connection. Larissa was born in Brazil back in 2002 and raised in Minas Gerais. As a kid, she became absolutely fascinated by the mere idea of playing. She actually remembers seeing a character play guitar in the video game The Sims and later watching a classmate play at school. And she didn't just want to watch, she wanted to know what it felt like. At 7 years old, that fascination really locked in through the video game Guitar Hero. That digital introduction birthed a very real, tangible obsession. She begged for an acoustic guitar, finally got one for Christmas at age 8, and by the time she was 17, that hobby had escalated into a serious focus on the electric guitar. Chapter 2, Hobby to Passion. We so often assume that viral stars are just born with this magical gift, right? But the reality is that raw talent is forged through intense, relentless practice. Larissa decided she wasn't just going to learn a few songs, she was going to completely master the instrument. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how she got there. She committed to practicing for at least 3 hours every single day. She divided her routine into 4 specific areas: building physical resistance with guitar technique, studying music theory and scales, working on improvisation, and learning actual songs and solos exactly as they were originally played. For Larissa, improvement wasn't about one big eureka moment, it was about showing up and practicing again and again. Let's move to Chapter 3 and see how this builds. Finding her sound. Because once you have that technical foundation, the real challenge is finding your own voice. As Larissa grew as a musician, she absolutely refused to fit into a single musical box. On one hand, you have her classic rock and blues influences, legends like Jimi Hendrix, Eddie Van Halen, David Gilmour, Carlos Santana, and John Mayer. But on the other hand, she has this profound love for alternative bands like Arctic Monkeys, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, and Foo Fighters. It's that exact blend of heavy, technical guitar heroes mixed with the gritty, melodic energy of alternative rock that ultimately forged her completely unique identity. And hey, you really can't talk about a guitarist's sound without talking about their gear. Larissa has a very special relationship with her instruments. Here's a fun detail for you. Her absolute go-to guitar is a stunning black Gibson SG that she affectionately nicknamed the BMW or Black Magic Woman. And she didn't just buy it and play it as is. She intimately understands her tone, upgrading the guitar with Goto locking tuners for ultimate tuning stability. She knows exactly how to craft her sound. Chapter 4, the pandemic turning point. Up until 2020, Larissa was heading down a very traditional path, studying engineering and architecture. But when the COVID-19 lockdowns hit, that rigid path basically vanished overnight, replaced by terrifying uncertainty. Just listen to this quote from Larissa. "If COVID hadn't happened, I might never have started posting guitar videos online." The absolute abyss of the pandemic unexpectedly created a brand new opportunity. It acted as the ultimate catalyst, literally forcing her to pivot her entire life's direction. And the crazy thing is, it didn't require a massive Hollywood production studio. With just 4 incredibly simple ingredients, a camera, a guitar, a room, and an internet connection, she began to build a global empire right from the isolation of her bedroom. She just started recording covers of Pink Floyd, Van Halen, and Queen, and putting them out there online. Chapter 5, Behind the Camera. Now, from the outside looking in, a 10-second guitar video looks completely effortless. You see a musician playing flawlessly, and you naturally think it's easy. But the grueling reality of content creation is a completely different story. Now, what's really interesting about this is the sheer scale of her result: 5 million. That is her total follower count across platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. 5 million people tuning in to watch her play. That kind of audience doesn't just happen by accident. It proves her intense dedication absolutely paid off. Getting there requires an incredibly intense production process. Believe it or not, a single short video can take her up to 3 entire days to produce. Step 1 is setting up the studio, getting the angles just right, and recording multiple takes until her fierce perfectionism is finally satisfied. Step 2 is intense editing, making sure the audio and video are perfectly refined. And Step 3 is planning future content and connecting with her audience. As researchers from Cambridge University even noted, her videos are meticulously crafted custom performances. She's literally her own producer, editor, and business one. Because for Larissa, the video isn't finished when the guitar stops playing, it's finished when she believes the final product is truly ready. Chapter 6: Pressure of Being Different. As her channel absolutely exploded, she had to face the harsh realities of the internet. Larissa had to navigate outdated stereotypes and internet sexism directed at women playing rock music in a historically male-dominated digital space. Critics would question her credibility, relying on that tired old trope that girls can't really play guitar. So, the crucial point is how she responded to all of that. She didn't let the critics define her. Instead, she focused entirely on what she could control: her playing, her practice, her creativity, and her music. She famously said, "The girls who used to be just in the lyrics are stepping on stage, playing guitar, and making rock music themselves." What a powerful, empowering perspective. She shifted the focus entirely back to the music, serving as a massive inspiration for young girls, especially in Latin America, showing them there is absolutely no limit to what they can achieve. And frankly, her talent could not be contained to just a digital screen. She made a triumphant return to the real world, cutting her teeth in a local cover band called Honeybomb to build up her stage presence and ultimately cementing her status as a bona fide rock star. She stepped right out of her bedroom and went on to share live festival stages with absolute legends like Alice Cooper and Deep Purple at the Best of Blues and Rock Festival. On top of that, she partnered with iconic brands like Marshall, Epiphone, and Gibson. She is truly a force to be reckoned with. Which leaves us with this final thought. Look at just how far Larissa has come, all starting from a fascination sparked by video games at 7 years old. If a plastic Guitar Hero controller could spark a revolution that changed her entire life, what untamed passions waiting to be unleashed in you? What hobby are you hiding away that could actually be your true calling? I really hope this explainer inspires you to pick up your own metaphorical instrument today. Keep learning, keep exploring, and thank you so much for joining us.